I had called the church. God had gotten a hold of this backslidden Christian, took me behind the woodshed, wouldn't let me sleep, laid this church on my heart. I made a phone call, and this wiry little thing answered the phone. Hamilton Baptist Church. Like, what is he on? And it turned out it was you, preacher.
It was me. That's crazy. God's looking for crazy people to do his work, isn't he? But that's what it takes.
But isn't that kind of what God's looking for? A willing heart.
Whew, brother. That's beyond willing. Welcome to Iron Men, Men of the Second Mile podcast. We're glad that you could join us today. I have two honored guests here with us today. To your far side there, we have Brother George Jones, who is the current director of the Baltimore Rescue Mission. And next to him on the couch is our guest of honor today, and it's Dr. Bittner, Dr. Chuck Bittner. And he was the director of the Baltimore Rescue Mission, as you'll find out, for many years, a seasoned pastor. And he is the person we're here to interview today. I've invited Brother George Jones into the interview because of their relationship and knowledge that he has of Dr. Bittner's life, and he will be assisting us with the interview today. Brother Chuck, thank y'all for being here. Thank you both.
Thank you.
I'm
very grateful. I'm very grateful for your friendship. Your encouragement in the ministry, to me personally, has been tremendous. You have, as your right-hand man, who's now become your boss.
Yeah, that's right.
In a manner of speaking.
Praise the Lord.
A man who was my right-hand man for a decade, and still is a tremendous help here, encouraging our preachers, directing them, and counseling them sometimes when they're too, they don't want to talk to me sometimes, that they know they can go to Brother George and get sound advice and direction. And I appreciate that. Brother George, thank you for your friendship. You mentioned Sunday would have been 24 years that you had come to Emerton.
24 years ago, Palm Sunday, I walked through these doors.
Praise the Lord.
And it was March 29th, 2002. And I had called the church. God had gotten a hold of this backslidden Christian, took me behind the woodshed, wouldn't let me sleep, laid this church on my heart. I made a phone call, and this wiry little thing answered the phone. Hamilton Baptist Church. Like, what is he on? And it turned out it was you, preacher.
It was me. I had a lot more hair and a lot less waistline in those days, but and that began a wonderful friendship and fellowship, and then we became fellow servants, and we still are, and that's
Amen.
a joy.
Amen.
And but he's here to help us with the interview with Dr. Bittner. Brother Bittner, how long were you with the Baltimore Rescue Mission as the director?
36 years.
36 years
Yes, sir.
there, and still serving there. I see you got your logo shirt on today,
Yes, sir.
and you guys probably came from there to come here today, serving still in an official capacity, and I'm so thrilled about that. I love that. I'm grateful for it, but I know that's not the only thing you're doing these days, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. To get us started today and to get the folks to get to know you, tell us about your upbringing and how you got saved.
Okay. I was born in, I was born in 1949, and so I'm a little over 76 years old, and born in Baltimore, Maryland, and was raised out in a little town called Dorsey. Elk Ridge is nearby. Glen Burnie was about 10 miles away, but it was very rural. We didn't even have a stop sign in our town, let alone a traffic light. One gas station, and that did everything. You got everything at the gas station. So anyway, but my parents were going and of course raised us when we went to the Dorsey United Methodist Church.
Okay.
So we grew up Methodist, and this was back before the Methodists merged with Evangelical United Brethren, EUB.
Right.
That's an old Brethren denomination.
Right.
And they at the time were pretty strong. They were
Right.
pretty strong.
We call them old-time Methodists.
Old-time Methodist. And I can remember going to that church and seeing people walk the aisle. And even had services on Sunday night.
Wow.
And some of our preachers back in the day were the real deal.
Real preachers.
So I got to hear the gospel. Nobody ever sat down with me and said, "Hey, are you saved? Have you ever asked the Lord to save you?"
Right.
I knew about it. I knew
Right.
about it. Matter of fact, when I was about 12 years old, I was lighting the candles. They had candles before the service.
Yes.
So I had one of those little white robes on and a little acolyte thing, and I go there and light the candles before. After the service was over, had to march back up there and put a little snuffer on it.
Right.
And I sang in the junior choir, and then took catechism.
Really?
Took catechism, and after that had my first communion. And so that whole
Just
thing,
adapted right into the church,
I
but
fit
not
right,
but
fit
not born again.
Fit right into the religious thing,
Right.
You know, and so I tried to do what I thought was okay when I wanted to, and when I didn't, I did what I wanted to do.
Right.
I didn't have any convictions because I wasn't really saved. But anyhow, growing up in that church, I saw a lot of different things. When I was about 13, that's when the EUB merged with the Methodist and became United
Methodist.
So our first United Methodist preacher came, and my brother-in-law was dating my sister at the time, and I was standing next to him when, after the service, he went up to the new preacher and he said, "Do you believe in the virgin birth of Christ?" And he looked at us and he laughed and he said, "Nobody believes that fairy tale anymore." So that was my introduction to the United Methodist Church.
Wow.
To where that was a fairy tale.
Big change.
Big change. Big change. Well, my sister played the organ there. My dad taught Sunday school. So we weren't going anywhere. That was where, and that was the only church in town.
Locked in.
All the community, the little community was there. Everybody showed up in church on Sunday morning.
Wow.
So that's what we had. And so I just said, okay. And I just thought, well, this is all a big joke.
Right.
I just said, if this is the new preacher and that's what he says,
Right.
out of his mouth, I heard it. So
Wow.
Anyway, so by the time I hit 16, I started playing saxophone in the 7th grade and got pretty decent at it. And by the time I was 16, so I'm in about the 11th grade maybe, I was invited to audition at a band. A friend of ours had a band. It was not a rock and roll band. It was a 10-piece orchestra, a dance band. Played
Right.
Glenn Miller stuff and all
big
that.
band music.
Big band music. But we also had a 7-piece combo and a 4-piece combo. So
Okay.
depending on the size of the crowd and how much money they had, what they could afford, as far
That
as
determined who showed up.
So I played saxophone, and anyway, I auditioned, and I made the audition. They were looking for an alto sax player, and that's what I played. So I'm 16 years old. I'm kind of a big guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I was very much into weightlifting. I won that. I lived 16 miles from school, so I couldn't play team sports.
Right.
So I figured that I can do that on my own. I don't need anybody around for me to do it. And I
Right.
got into it.
Wow.
And got to where I was doing all right. So anyway, so I'm 16 years old. I'm a pretty big guy, and I had no problem getting served where we were playing. There was always keg beer.
Right.
Playing oyster roast, bull roast, wedding receptions,
Right.
college fraternity parties, Lions Club,
Right.
Elks Club, you name it,
Yes.
all of that. We did all
Right.
that, okay? Every weekend, 2 or 3 times a weekend, we'd play a bull roast or a wedding reception on a Saturday afternoon, play something else Sunday night, and Sunday afternoon we'd do it again someplace.
Right.
And so I'm getting to where I'm drinking a lot.
On a regular basis.
On a regular basis, so every
Wow.
weekend.
16,
And
17 years old.
16, 17 years old.
Unbelievable.
And our bass guitar player always kept a fifth of old granddad in his bass guitar case, just in case things got a little slow, you know.
Yeah.
So
My
he
goodness.
livened it up a little bit.
Liven it up.
So my parents, you know, he was teaching a teen Sunday school class. We all grew up in the church. We still went to church. I still went to church. I wasn't at home, and no problem at all. When he knew that I was auditioning for the band, he said, "Now, son," he said, "they'll probably be doing some drinking there." So he said, "You got to be careful not to get too involved in that." That was it. That was the counsel. Matter of fact, my dad was a part-time barber, and I remember when I was, I don't know, around that age, he was cutting my hair one afternoon, and he said, "Now, son," he said, "you're getting old enough to be interested in these girls around here, and I know that." And he said, "Just don't be like me." He said, "Don't marry the first one you get." He said, "Go out and sow your wild oats a while." He said, "Find out what it's all about, and then think about getting married later." So that was the counsel I got.
Sunday school teacher's counsel.
That was
from the United Methodist.
That was my counsel. So going into playing in the band and doing that every weekend was no problem.
You'd been given liberty and license from your parents.
Got the green light. So
to get involved in really dark sin.
Yeah, I really did. And I come home sometimes 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd get sick from drinking too much.
Right.
One time I came home, and when I walked in the door, I got a hand right in the face. My mother was waiting for me, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
She was tired of it, and she did let me have it. But anyway, I still kept doing it.
Sure.
I mean, that was just the way it was. So, getting ready to graduate from high school, Vietnam was going on, and I wanted to get involved, and my brother-in-law was in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And so I didn't have a brother. I had 2 sisters, but no brother. He was the closest thing to a brother to me. Now, he was a Christian. He was a Christian.
How about that?
And he was the best influence I really had at the time.
My goodness.
Well, he was a Marine's Marine. He really was. He was a man.
Right.
Okay? He would do one-arm push-ups. He could do 10 or 12 of them on either hand, no problem. And so I went down to Camp Lejeune with him one time when he was down there and got to see it all. And I said, "This is what I'm going to do." So when I graduated from high school, I went right to the recruiter's office, and I said, I want to join the Marine Corps. And he said, "Well, you're going to have to take a test, an aptitude test." So I took the test, and he said, "Well, you qualify to get in the Aviation Guarantee Program." And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Well, it'd be an aviation MOS." And he said, "But instead of enlisted for 2 years, you got to enlist for 4 because they're going to send you to school." So I thought, I lived real close to BWI, what used to be Friendship Airport.
Right.
BWI, and I said, "You know what? If I could get in there and have them train me, and I get out, and I end up going over there and getting a job maybe as an air controller."
Right. You make good.
I thought I could make some real
have
money.
a real future.
Yes. So that was my plan, okay? My plan was to do that. So I went ahead and went down to Paris Island. I could spend the rest of our time talking about what I had to go through down there.
Right.
I got a broken foot down there. I had some major problems. When I went down, I had a strep throat, and then I got pneumonia.
Oh, my goodness.
And then because I couldn't keep up, they thought I was malingering.
Oh, so
I was malingering.
They
So
doubled
put
down
me
on
in.
you.
So then they put me in motivation platoon, and motivation platoon was another whole. I mean, Paris Island was a
Designed to kill you, just about.
It really
Didn't kill
was.
you, it'd make you stronger.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So anyhow, but that's when I got sick in motivation and had to go to medical platoon. Went in there. My brother-in-law taught me how to spit shine boots. So I spit shine my boots and I come out. Well, the problem was I was still a recruit. I wasn't a Marine. So recruits don't rate spit shine boots. So my drill instructor, when he looked at my feet, he started calling me everything but a nice guy. And then he took his heel and came down on my 5th metatarsal bone in my right foot and cracked it real hard. Now I was in a real world of hurt, okay? I couldn't let on. So anyway, one thing led to another. It broke. So I went through all kinds of trials and tribulations with that. Ended up in the hospital. Came out. They put a cast on me. Now I had to march over a quarter of a mile in the heat on crutches to the chow hall from where our barracks was. That rubbed a blister inside of that cast on my heel, and all I knew was I was having terrible pain, but it wasn't from the break. I knew the difference in the pain. This was something different, and I was going crazy. I went to the corpsman. The corpsman gave me some Darvon. That didn't touch it. So I took my bayonet one night, and I went into the shower.
Right.
And I'm going to soak that thing down, and I'm coming out of that cast. That's what I planned on doing. Well,
right.
we had a fire watch. Fire watch walks around all night long, make sure everything's okay, nobody's smoking, nobody's doing something crazy. Fire watch caught me in the shower with a bayonet. He goes and wakes the drill instructor up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
My goodness.
You woke up a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Okay, he was not a happy camper.
He wasn't a happy camper on a good day. This is the middle of the night.
No, sir. He came out and he bounced my head off that concrete floor. And he said, you're going to need more in a hospital when I get done with you, sweetheart.
Wow.
Back to the hospital I went. And when they went to cut that cast off, it was 2 nurses and a doctor. And they cut that cast off, and all of a sudden you smelt this horrific smell.
Septic.
Gangrene. Yeah.
Like gangrene.
It had gone to gangrene.
Sepsis.
And
wow.
And it stunk, I'm telling you, and it was just a green-yellow mess in that cast.
Wow.
And so that blister had got infected and was working its way in. So now this Navy doctor, bless his heart, but this Navy doctor, they're holding me down, and he did not give me a shot of anything. And he took a scalpel, and he started clearing out everything and down to the raw meat. I mean, it was just a mess.
Oh my goodness.
Then, excuse me, I got infected blood. Like Job, I had boils from my head to my feet.
Oh my goodness.
Everywhere in between. When you have boils, they put hot compresses on. They take a scalpel, they lance it. They dig out the core. You have a core about that long in a boil.
No kidding.
Yeah. Then they pack it with gauze. And every day the nurse comes by and disinfectant, some kind of antibiotic. Every day they come by and they pull that out and they repack it. And they pull it out and they all over me.
All over you.
So I was 6 months in the hospital because I was on a staff infected ward. If I was starting to get better, I'd catch it from somebody else.
Just immediately.
It was just a mess. So finally, I got out of there and I graduated from boot camp, and I went to Camp Lejeune, which was infantry training regiment. Every Marine is first a rifleman. Okay.
Right.
So you got to go through all that. Shoot 3.5 rocket launchers. They used to call them bazookas in World War II.
Yes.
Machine guns, throw hand grenades, all that good stuff. Okay. Then from there, they sent me to Memphis, Tennessee, where I got my MOS when I came out of Parris Island. And he said, "You're 3071." And I said, "Sir, what is 3071?" He said, "Aviation supply clerk." I said, "Whoop-de-doo. That's
right.
The last thing I want to be is a supply clerk."
Right, yeah.
Well, that's what I qualified for.
Wow.
So that really put a bummer on me and everything in the Marine Corps. I was very, very disappointed. And I went to school in Memphis and was there, 10, 12 weeks. Had to learn how to use all these. It was before computers.
Right.
Okay, we were using these big catalog books and all this
right.
stuff. Had to order everything by hand.
Everything's manual.
Everything's manual. And so I got out of there, and they sent me to Cherry Point, North Carolina, which is a big Marine Air Base.
Yes.
And so I'm there, and they had a big chart up on the wall of open dates to go to Vietnam, and I put my name right on there. That's the first thing I wanted. I wanted to go over.
Get out of this job I didn't really sign up for.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, the problem is I did get to go over. They sent me over, and I ended up doing that. They put me in a squadron of A-6 aircraft. They were medium bombers at the time. They were state of the art. All you had to do was, and they did have computers in those things. that you take the plane off, you punch in your destination where you're going, and it will take you there in any kind of weather, drop your payload, turn you around, and bring you back. All you got to do is land it. Okay,
Whoa.
that was state of the art, high tech technology back then.
Yeah.
Okay, it really was. That was
Cutting edge.
That was cutting edge.
That's military grade
Yeah.
technology, because a lot of our inventions we enjoy today all come through military. Necessity is the mother of invention.
So I'm 12 months in Vietnam and never got off the base. No hero, never did anything amazing. never.
That doesn't make you not a hero, preacher. I hate to tell you
never
that.
Fired a shot.
Any man that signed up for Vietnam is a hero. I don't care, especially when you consider how the anti movement
I
was.
signed a medical waiver to get in the Marines
get in it.
because I had asthma. I had to sign a medical waiver. They could have never touched me, but I wanted to go.
Yeah, that's hero status, isn't it, Bro George?
It is.
I don't care who you are. That's a hero.
Well,
if I see a man with a military hat on, a lot of times they'll wear their army or their.
Yeah.
I always go out of my way to say something, but if I see a man with a Vietnam hat, I go way out of my way to make sure he knows how much I appreciate.
But isn't that kind of what God's looking for? A willing heart.
Whew, brother, that's beyond willing. That's crazy. God's looking for crazy people to do his work, isn't he? But that's what it takes. If you're enjoying the Iron Man Men of the Second Mile podcast, please give us a follow on Spotify or a subscribe on the YouTube channel. Both of those actions will help us drive this into the public forum. Your comments can make a big difference, and also the feedback you give us will help us improve in the days ahead. We appreciate you and hope you'll continue to listen to the Iron Men, Men of the Second Mile podcast.